Hello, cadets.
Hello,
Hello.
Commander?
Commander Nandi in the house. It's me.
Cadet Master, right?
I'm Cadet Master. I need to lean in with an accent if I already have my funny accent. This is the closest.
You have to be the Cadet Master because you are in love with a woman.
Bartek, this is why you're here on our podcast. To provide insight like that Rachel and I can't because we're too committed in our marriage to see the obvious things like that because we're in it, but you're on the outside.
Yeah, that's why you need the third person who can just see the things that you guys can't see because you're too ingrained in this whole world.
That's right. That's exactly your dynamic here. And Rachel and I, we host Yum Yum podcast normally. We're a married couple who loves science fiction television, and we love Star Trek, and it inspired us, didn't it, Rachel, to podcast in the first place?
I wasn't inspired. I wouldn't go that far.
You wouldn't go that far.
No. I was co-opted into your inspiration.
What? You are such a liar. You're such a liar. You were there watching Star Trek Discovery and its second season finale. You saw the Yum Yum moment. Your jaw hit the floor. You were talking about it for days on end, weeks on end. Even Bartek was a witness to this. He didn't see the moment with us, but he saw the aftermath. He can attest that you also talked about the Yum Yum moment.
Oh, I am not saying that I didn't get enthralled. I'm just saying you started it.
And you're going to end it.
It's very teacherly. I'm going to end this.
But you're going to end it by being a co-host on a podcast called Yum Yum, which was inspired by the amazing line of dialogue from Star Trek Discovery's second season.
We live in its legacy.
We live for the yum. We die for the yum. And we are back here again to talk about the mistress that is Star Trek. We have been podcasting about many sci-fi shows over the years, but we started with Discovery, it finished, and now its sequel series, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, is here upon us now. And we're coming in every 2 weeks to cover the 2 episodes that have come out. Bartek, you're joining us for this wild ride because you are a newcomer to Star Trek. You've only seen a single movie and now these episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 5 things now.
5. By the end,
4 episodes in a movie.
You'll be in double digits. Think about that.
Whoa, a whole 11.
A whole 11. You won't be able to get that time back. That time won't return to you. In any way,
you're making it sound like these 11 things are going to be a bad experience.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Need I remind you all that I'm the only one that's consistently given yum-yums to Star Trek Starfleet Academy?
And that will continue today, or will it? We'll have to find out. What episodes of Star Trek Starfleet Academy did we watch, and what episodes are they, Rachel? What happened in them? What are we doing here?
Please tell me, because I can't remember much beyond them both beginning with V.
You don't remember them being Latin titles?
Yeah, the first one, I know it's the name of the plant, and the second one starts with Vox.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really remember.
Vitus Reflux?
Yep.
Is the name of the 3rd episode. And the 4th episode is called Vox in Excelso. Here is my summary of this 3rd episode. The competition between Starfleet Academy and the War College heats up, but Darum learns a lesson about who is the best leader.
Yum Yum was an iconic moment. A moment of television that was so groundbreaking that when we cover episodes of Star Trek, we like to talk about the Yum Yum moment. Were there moments in these 2 episodes that you pointed at and said, now that's particularly Yum Yum, like that is crazy, bizarre, strange, I don't know what they were doing there. Like, what is the Yum Yum of this 3rd episode? Bartek, do you have an opinion on this? Do you have a Yum Yum moment of Vitus Reflux?
Yes, asterisk.
Oh.
Oh.
a character's entire performance for this one episode, I think, was just yum yum overall, other than like one scene.
By the way, I want to say Bartek's previous Yum Yum was the entire performance of Paul Giamatti. I'm getting a vibe that you're going to go on with your journey through Star Trek.
In my fourth episode, there is a one moment.
So what is this?
The performance, Holly Hunter in episode 3 feels like she heard about what this podcast does, Yum Yum Moments, and said, I need to be the Yum Yum moment for episode 3, so I'm just gonna go all out.
And when you say all out, feet
first.
Feet first. Tarantino secretly directed this episode. Someone said, it's not enough that Holly Hunter's gonna have her feet out. They need to have little chainmail on the top of her feet. That was very upsetting to me.
She says that she's got the little piggies out in a previous episode, and they follow through.
Yeah, I was about to say the feet thing was at least there's a precedent for that.
She
has been barefoot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of it wiggling in the camera.
Yeah, I'm mostly talking about the performance.
Oh yeah, the feet are a part of it though. She's wiggling the feet. She's physically wiggling them. My Yum Yum was a technical thing. And Rachel can attest that it drove me up the wall. This actually, I'm not joking when I say this. If I was a teacher marking this would reduce the grade by 15%. The music was insane in this episode. There were moments where it's like, oh, this is an excellent scene. What a wonderful scene. Beautiful, character-filled. And then they got rid of the orchestra. They said, no, we don't want the normal orchestra. Get a DJ for this scene and let them do a little record scratch.
Yeah, there was a bit of that, wasn't there?
A bit? You mean a lot?
Yeah.
There was a bit.
An Australian bit.
Yes.
It means a lot.
It means a lot. But there were so many bizarre, you know what this scene needs? It needs a Skrillex moment. And I just couldn't tolerate it. It was so strange to me. I just said, nothing else. There's so much in this episode that could be yum yum, but the music was yumming it up.
I have 2 lines, and they're both from the same scene. And one of them is, what are you doing here? Because it actually made me giggle.
Wow.
And the other liner was very, very shortly before the thing that actually made me laugh of, oh yeah, that's what you think is cool, isn't it? Oh, God.
This is done with youth.
Yeah. The line that made me cringe in a Yum Yum fashion is polycule underwater hookups.
I don't even remember this line.
Genesis is just saying it in the background after Darum is just like, yeah, I got stabbed in the ribs after I hooked up with, it was not going to work out because I hooked up with her sisters. Well, both of her sisters, actually, and her cousin.
Okay. So polycule. Okay. They mentioned polycules in the second episode, too. Someone
They-
had a little streak in the writer's room.
Yep, they were like young people and polycules, right?
I've heard of those.
And the other is also in that scene. It's Sam's line. Of,
That was a good line. If it's
I don't have ribs.
Oh, that's not the line. My
I
mistake.
love that line. That was genuinely a great
What
line.
line did you like?
So there was one of the big plot things of this episode is that they got pranked and, they're upset about it and they take it to, the Chancellor, Holly Hunter. She's Chancellor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Commander and Chancellor. They take it to her and it's the scene where we get introduced to the plants and they're all giving their reasons for why they're upset at things. And there's a pace to it. And they have the same tones. And it's for this reason, for this reason, for this reason, for this reason. And then Sam has her line that's in the same hurried tone as I have a complaint. But it's a kind of pleasant upbeat, I had a bath for the first time. I'm that was actually pretty good.
You're coming over to Team Sam. Welcome to the party.
That's actually going to be one of my
Welcome
things for
to the party.
episode 3. I actually don't mind her now.
Everybody was looking at us like we were insane.
Like we're crazy.
In front of the whole school.
What about our honor?
I took a bath for the first time.
You want us to get back at them with botany.
I both love and hate this third episode. It had so many things that I appreciated that they set up within the episode and paid off in ways that were both expected and unexpected. They utilized the science fiction nature of certain characters, specifically Sam. Her being a hologram actually matters to the story and is used in comedic and plot-relevant ways.
I was watching and I'm like, oh, Ryan is going to really like this stuff.
I like so many bits and pieces. I was happy to have more character focus in an episode. Both of these episodes, spoiler alert, are very character-driven. But the repetition was obnoxious. This is, without a doubt, to me, an example of Star Trek now becoming a show where they have to write in consideration of people looking at this on their on the second screen, having this open in a different tab. They have 15 minutes too much in this episode. This episode's just over an hour long, and there's no reason for it. So much fluff, so much crap that when we say this is like, oh, this was Darum's episode, starts out that way, then 20 minutes of it is Genesis's episode, and then it goes, and then it realizes, oh, that's right, this is Darum's episode. And I went, guys, focus in. Mm-hmm. So this episode is very messy.
Yeah, halfway through, I was like, man, this is just like, it's so many plots in one episode. And by the end, it's like, okay, it did actually kind of come together. I'll give it credit for that, but it still felt very confusing on just that very basic storytelling, story viewing level of like, okay, we start off with Darum. He's talking about, you know, his views, his, you know, giving us ideas about his past. And it's like, okay.
His desires.
Yeah, his desires. This is going to be my episode. I have these things. I need to be first, even the first awake. And then, you know, conflict immediately as he leaves his room. Like, oh, there's someone else who is first awake and she's going to be my rival for the episode. And objectively, there is a rivalry in this episode, but it comes and goes. Like, a lot of it happens like around the 2-quarter mark.
She's also competing to be the lead of the episode.
Yeah, and then it vanishes for a bit. Then you get like one more little moment at the 3-quarter mark. Then a lot more of the episode happens, and then it ends on him giving like a book-ending narration. It's like, yeah, but you were only... It felt like you should have been more front and center the whole way through. Instead, you get brushed aside for quite a lot of it. I just kept thinking of that saying, like, it's not as good as the sum of its parts. Like, there were really good parts in this. I feel like I should like this more, but yeah, it just felt really confused.
It's weirdly consistent in its inconsistencies, because it is like, okay, we're doing this now, we're doing this now, we're doing this now, we're doing this now, but it doesn't have that solid through line to keep it balanced, to keep it moving. So you do get this sense of like, oh, wait, we're going back to this. Oh, okay, now they're bringing these things together. But do you want me to feel more for this person or this person? Am I meant to feel for both of them? But it doesn't pause and reflect on any of those things in particular until it's like, we're going to give the character the moment to do the thing.
There's so much here where it's like, you can tell they in the writer's room when they're creating this show know that they want this about this character and this about that character and this about this story, but they can't contain it. They can't.
They're in a rush.
They just say, this is the episode where I want to reveal this about this character. Okay, great. Now I know that Jet Reno and Laura Thok are in a relationship, and it's in this episode.
And that's why Reno left Discovery.
Yeah. And it's in this episode. I'm not saying it doesn't belong here, but it's introduced a certain way through the episode where I throw my hands up in the air and go, wait, I'm getting too much in this. Like, it's not like that I object to these, but please slow down, wait,
let it breathe.
Dole it out.
It felt like they were going back to the first episode's thing of like, we're going to use everyone, which is like, you know, the polar opposite of episode 2, where it's like, we're only going to use a few people and everyone else is going to be kind of in the background.
Is this going to be what they do? Every odd numbered episode is that, and every even numbered episode is we're going to have focus on a character?
It felt like that. I think the 4th episode actually was okay-ish about the balance.
Oh, I thought it was much better.
It was much better.
Yeah, so not quite, you know, every odd episode, but yeah, this one did feel like, yeah, every odd numbered episode, it's just gonna desperately trying to use everyone.
But before we dive further in, I want to ask Bartek if he has any questions lore related.
Or any of those outsider observations that you're curious about.
So they mentioned what's the other school called? The military?
The
War
War
College.
The War College. Did they mention that the War College is going to be in the same like venue as the Academy?
Good question, Bartek. Rachel got really up in arms about this, and it's the first thing in her discussion notes.
Oh, okay.
She's furious about this.
Because it makes no sense. Because Holly Hunter, Nala
Aki.
Captain Nala Aki says this ship is your campus, right? This, which I can't remember if she directly says or it at least implies that ship was created for the Academy.
That feels what it was supposed to be, yes.
Yep. And if the alternative version is that this was initially built for the War College, then they should have an old campus that they could return to.
What I understood the War College was already on Earth. Like, War College was a remnant of
That's
Earth.
been around for about 100 years because it kind of replaced Starfleet Academy during the burn. So why the fuck are they sharing a campus?
Yeah, it felt like a university kind of thing because you have a couple of scenes in this episode where there's like a quadrangle area.
They're
like this
sharing the
grassy area.
gym as well as the atrium courtyard that seems to be between their two accommodation areas.
That's what I meant. Like in that quadrangle area, it felt
Yeah.
like the north or left side was like that's the academy area, and the lower/right side is the War College area. So it feels like a university there. Like, oh, our departments are separate, but we have the same like buildings.
Yeah, it feels very confused. This is an
Well,
episode where they're
different,
also
dormitories. Like if you live on campus, you have like this building and this building, and they're often like named after alumni.
Yeah.
We just for clarification and context too, all of us, went to university. None of us lived on campus.
Mm-hmm.
We also are Australian, so there's also some different things, because this feels like a very American idea, like this kind of like the two rivaling colleges war against each other. But it's like, is that a thing that happens?
It feels like more like
that feels like more of a high school thing.
It feels like a clique or a frat thing. Like,
Yeah, a
the
frat
fraternities are at war or something.
But we've seen in movies like two different universities/colleges battle each other, but it's usually there's an event.
Yeah.
And this episode opens up with it's an event, but Rachel,
But
you
it's
immediately were like, oh, so this is on Starfleet Academy's turf, but the episode when they're in the gymnasium treats it like, no, it's both their turf, and it's already confusing. You're like, wait, what?
Usually those kind of like college war things are framed in terms of like sports stuff, and you do get a bit of that in this
But
with like the competition
they're
and their
both
mascots.
like in class, and then they seem to be indicating that they're competing in events, but Laura is like, you're doing this kind of thing and they're doing that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
in the
then
gym at the same time.
Caleb starts doing like versus them in the rope thing.
It was very confusing to me that Caleb could just bump into randomly on Starfleet Academy's campus the Betazoid girl. I thought the whole point was she went to the War College and he's like, oh, we're only going to be able to interact sporadically, but it seems like he could just walk over to where she sleeps and says, hey, he makes a big deal in this episode. Why did you choose the War College and didn't tell me? It's like, what does it even matter? You guys can just see each other.
I remember both last episode and in the 2 weeks since we record that episode, whenever we talk about the show, we would just say the basic same things of like, oh yeah, it's weird that they introduced this character and then they're going to put her in a place where she's only going to sporadically appear, but then...
Because it's the conceit of the episode, is like, here are these two factions at war, but we don't understand the, like, geography of it all. You're like, wait, what? I thought you guys were elsewhere, but you're here all the time. They're like, hanging out.
Yeah. Has the War College been, like, mentioned in other Star Trek
This is the
stuff?
first.
This is the first.
This is the
okay.
first of it. They didn't even mention in Discovery. No, this is the first War College stuff, yeah.
I really thought that they did.
No.
And so are they meant to be more like typical military soldiers?
You tell me. This is the most we've had. I think that's the vibe, is they're supposed to be more militant.
Yeah, and they're making that clear so that it's like Starfleet is teaching you this thing, the War College would be teaching you that thing.
Academy cadets, do you find it challenging to run while also debating the ethical ramifications of hurting the floor?
Do you find it challenging to be a War College douchebag?
Know your best.
Dude, I just got smacked in the head.
You're gonna take up half our space. Get ready to be target practice.
Oh, I see. We don't like each other.
Yeah, this episode just spent a lot of time on like this sci-fi game of laser tag.
I don't trust that they're ever going to come back to it.
No, it served its purpose in this. But
The laser tag?
yeah,
Well, it's got to be the final battle with Paul Giamatti, right?
hold on to that. I bet you're right. He also is an expert of the laser tag.
Or they use that arena, like the actual arena, as
Oh, we're going to
the
do a
set.
smoke screen to trick him.
I found myself a bit torn on, we have that as the competition, like let's go get the War College, come at them, and the prank war stuff, both in this episode. And I feel like you got to go with one or the other because it feels redundant to have both, because both have the same conceit of we have to use our abilities to outsmart them in ways that they aren't able to think of. And you have two, like you have the sports story with like the laser tag, and then you have the, the cheeky prank war story. And I don't feel like either was really served their due because they're both competing for time.
The prank one's kind of treated as like the overarching war that they have with them that's, going to be introduced early and then resolved at the end. Whereas the sportsy competition there was more about like, highlighting it's focusing on the arc of the two characters that, should have been the focus of the episode, Genesis and
Darren.
Raimi. Yeah, Darren. Because, he wins the leadership thing because, they were equal, but he did a sneaky thing and got ahead of her. But then showed that, when the chips are actually down, like she's the better leader. So, that was the focus there. Whereas the other one was, the overarching thing of them as a whole academy having one over on the other.
And then the other story with the prank war stuff is Aki actually is the one that leads them in that, but unofficially. And it's like, well...
they're the two leaders of the two schools. They have their, secret room tea party where they exchange witty banter.
Witty in all caps, question mark.
That last line of hers in that scene.
Oh, please tell.
It was because they're having tea, and the other guy has, and we know this because the character says it earlier. He has a tea fetish.
They say it aloud.
The 6 and 12 thing?
Yeah. He's like, he's giving her advice about like, the way you should stir your tea is go from 12 to 6, 12 to 6. Like straight vertical line of stirring rather than round stirring. And she, completely blows off all that, just drinks it normally. And then at the end, as she's leaving the room, she turns like, oh, by the way, why don't you do...
For you, it's 12 and 6. For me, it's 6 and 12.
And then she
leaves.
Then she does this look and she's like, what do you think about that? And leaves. And I'm like, I don't even know what that line means.
And he says, he goes,
Brian
what?
didn't get it either.
Did you get it?
Here's the thing. I didn't care.
Oh,
That's a problem.
That too.
Rachel, please explain. You're one of the writers of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Please explain your process.
She's on the other side of the table. So if she was doing it 12 to 6, it would be in like the other half of the thing. Other half of the cup.
Okay.
But I don't know how it's like a witty retort.
That's not even witty because
no, Bartek.
Like if I was following your instructions, it doesn't.
The phrase wasn't "do it as I'm doing," bottom to top.
No.
6 to 12 is like a perspective, like a relative term.
It's just like in your cup
Like-
it would be that.
Like right now,
But
Yum.
that's the way that I took it, and I was like, that still doesn't.
Yeah, right now, Yumlings. Ryan is at my 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So but I wouldn't say he's at the 10 o'clock of the room because from Ryan's 10 o'clock would be Rachel.
And if I was stirring tea and you said 10 to 6, I wouldn't say, actually, Bartek, for me, it would be 1 to 7, or something, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, when in military
That's
stuff, when
not how that works.
Yeah, when they say watch your 6, it's not like, watch the direction that I'm looking at. It's watch behind you.
Here's the thing. I love this because I have not engaged too much about people's critical reaction to this, but we have a Discord, we have people talking. There are fans out there who get super focused on like little lore things that I don't care about, or things that do bother me, but not to a degree. Like, oh, in the 4th episode, the Doctor says this speech that was from TNG, but they missed a word in the speech. How could the writers be so sloppy? But us here, we're like, we're going to talk about this 12 to 6 thing. That really bothers.
It's the punchline of a scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The scene does have some really good little lines. My favorite line of the episode, outside of the ribs line from Sam, which I thought was genuinely great, was Aki says to this war college guy, you've got very serious security. And he says it in a really good line delivery. He's not trying to be
dry.
Dry. He just says, yes, we tried funny security. It didn't work out. And I thought that was awesome. You get a history with these two characters. They have a back and forth. That was a nice little line. Wasn't oversold. And then the scene ends with a really oversold, bizarre line. And then his reaction is being a dumbass, being like, "What?" But here we are going, here is what we interpreted, and we still go, what?
It's like she wanted a quippy line, and that's all she could come up with. But the show treats it like, yeah, she got him. And it's like, what?
I think that her...
Got him with what?
Like, putting her, like, physical acting aside, being silly in that scene, like, I thought her dialogue in that scene was actually pretty good. Where it's like, I'm, I do have an understanding that, like, they're young, they have their ways of working it out, it's a social experience for students, but also I'm in charge of them and I need to make sure that, we're giving them exactly what they need. She even has a whole little thing about, like, the other guy's like, oh, they have to know what it's really like. It's like, dude, some of these guys came here, like, as stowaways and, like, from war-torn places. Like,
prisoners, they know already.
I think they already know the real world. We don't need this petty bullshit that you're perpetuating, even though you shouldn't be.
I don't want to beat this drum, but I will. In a show that was supposed to be focusing on the young Starfleet cadets, the best material and writing is the adults, is the teachers, is the people with life experience, and them dealing with that. Because the reveal of that...
Coming into those roles as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because
she had retired.
None of these people are confident in that space. Maybe the Doctor is a little bit more.
Jet Rena, I would say, as well. Oh, kind of.
Like, she's more...
But this is new. The whole thing is an experiment, as I said. Like, Starfleet Academy hasn't existed in 100 years, and they emphasize in these episodes, this is an experiment that's going to fail, so we have to try our best if we want it to succeed. So even, Holly Hunter, she, is a teacher, but she's been teaching primary school kids for the last several years, so she's having to adapt to that. But the teacher conversations were really great in this episode, or at least I found interesting. Like, the reveal of that scene is the war college guy is participating in the thing. He is giving them a leg up. It's not just the kids doing it on their own. It is you, the adult, an actual adult, are pushing your thumb on the scale here, and that's not fair, that's not right. Where do we draw the line? Am I going to have to get involved? Is Laura Thok going to have to get in? Where do we cut it off? And he doesn't give a fuck. And that's all fascinating and interesting. And then you end it with this dumb thing, and it kind of ruins, like, something you can genuinely talk about, because it's like, well, now it's just a dumb thing.
She even had, like, relatively funny quips in that scene where he says something like, look, I know you're like 400 years older than me. He's like, 450 actually.
But yeah, exactly. There's like nice little things like that. I liked when her and Laura Thok were debating about how to handle this all. And like, this is a good dynamic because they're on the same side. They trust each other. But at the end of the day, you realize that she is playing Laura Thok as well. Like, it's all grand, big scheme, galaxy brain manipulation that she's doing throughout the whole entire episode, and she joyfully reveals it at the end. But if you look back on the episode, you can actually see all of those pieces there.
In the last 2 episodes, we didn't so much have, like, teachers talking about the way running schools. It kind of led itself more into, like, their military roles, talking to other military people and ambassadors coming over. So it was nice that finally the Academy show, we really have, like, not only just a bit of a slice of life character-y episode, but also we're having, the struggles of running a school kind of thing, and the pettiness that people need to leave behind when doing this important job.
Yeah, because I'll say like it is still a workplace, but the fact that everybody in this experience is learning on the job and as they go, and that gives more, like, it makes it more solid that this is an experiment to me.
The A word. Empathy. These kids have no reason to believe in anybody. I want them to believe in me. I need them to believe in you. Yeah. Surprise. I got no problem with kids being kids, but you're putting your thumb on the scale defeats both our purposes.
As a nerd, I enjoyed in the War College that the two primary instigators of the shenanigans, they did way too many shenanigan puns in this episode, by the way. That was a ding in my box.
Like shenanigans.
Yeah, they did too many. But it was a Romulan girl and a Vulcan guy. Romulans, Vulcans, they have a shared history. And in this point in the timeline, they have reunified. Like, that's the big deal of this future timeline is they used to be separate, now they're unified. And we haven't seen in the future, really, how does that change things? And I've seen people complain about this. Vulcans would never get into pranks. They're logical and nice and blah, blah, blah. Vulcans are jerks. They can be jerks. But the fact is, we now live in a future where the schemers, the duplicitous, the Machiavellian Romulans, and the Vulcans live together. I actually like seeing in this episode them two as a little duo, with him being all stoic and the little Romulan chick being like literally wringing her hands. I actually really enjoyed that. I thought that dynamic was a great example of showing without telling too much, because it's like, for a nerd like me, I'm talking about all this, but for someone like Bartek, you could just enjoy the funny comedy duo of just like stoic guy who's like, you deserve to be beaten at your thing.
That's true, yeah.
And her being like, nyeh.
And you know what? As a not nerd, I liked their third guy who...
Kyle,
who is just like...
Just nice?
Just unbiased. Like, I like whatever's funny. Like, I don't care if it's against me or for you. Like, I just like funny things.
His Siskel in the Spaceballs review where he just says, funny's funny. I'm sorry to tell you, Roger, funny's funny.
Yeah, you had Jay Den. It's like, what's his face? Caleb tells him, like, distract them. And, he stumbles, he's really awkward, and, like, the Vulcan and the Romulan are, like, just want to, like, shut it down and move on. But Kyle's like, no, what's the other joke?
I like funny things.
And at the end, when the plants, like, overrun their dormitory, he's the only one who's like, this is actually pretty good.
And he's, like, he's giving the plants things to say. Like, It's very cute. Like, Kyle is one of those, like, that's a funny one of, like, funny little thing. If he returns, I would be happy. He and Jayden have more chemistry. I felt a chemistry between those two than Caleb and the Betazoid girl. I don't give a fuck. This episode, like I said, has a bunch of fluff, and that's one of them.
That has we have a fun idea. They're playing games with each other, so they're playing a game on the court because they're courting, because they're romantically interested. Look at what we're doing.
But wouldn't it be cool if it was a sci-fi basketball? It's not just a normal basketball. It's a sci-fi basketball where it's made of, like, mesh, and it has a little glowy thing in it.
And you've seen Aliens, right?
Bartek hasn't actually seen Aliens. He hasn't seen the film Aliens. No. Only
there's a visual call.
I haven't seen Aliens, so I don't get basketball.
I think my least favorite character is this Betazoid girl. I get nothing out of this character. Every time she pops up, it is just like static to me.
And it really, outside of like little moments during like the laser tag game, there's only really like two scenes between them, like the first one on the court, and then when he's in the Yeti outfit running away from, his part of the plan. And that scene kind of just gets resolved by her realizing, like, look, I haven't been communicating that well.
There was a weird middle moment in their laser tag game that they put on.
Yeah.
He bumps into her, they have like a little cutesy thing, and then he fucking shoots her. And in a normal narrative, that would actually be like a fuck-up moment, but it's never addressed and no one cares.
But then she kind of does it back to him by dobbing on him.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this meant to balance out? Is that what you're going for?
So in that moment, I did have that initial thought of like, oh, is that going to be like a moment that'll be held against him? But then I was like, oh, you know what? It is a sports game. They are on other sides. I think it's understandable. I think the episode
But the problem
did
is
go
their
that way.
romance doesn't act in the way where that feels like it would be a thing that would play out.
For a relationship where I don't really understand where both sides are coming from, that could have been like the ultimate straw that broke the camel's back, I guess.
What about you, Rachel? How do you feel about these two?
I don't care. And I enjoy romance. There are certain tropes that I can't do anymore because it's just too much to see them fail in this kind of way. But like, I am a target audience for this kind of plot, and it's not working for me here. And it has that whiff of they can't just be together normally. We've got to build up to it. We've got to have a central romance, and there's got to be barriers. So we're going to do the cheap things. And that is a part of why I'm not invested, because it feels like they're not going to get together until the writers deem it like, okay, we've done everything that we can with that, so we're going to do this now.
Is this show, I have to ask this, even though it's early days, is this show demonstrating it's adept at writing romance?
No.
Because you can't say that isn't a key part of the show. It is.
No.
Romance is a key part of, like, love triangles.
Yeah.
Oh, Darum and Genesis and Caleb, and also
It's a
Caleb
school, it's a school setting type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like,
very
is it adept
common
at it?
things
Hey.
for a show like this to deal with.
Where did the two of you meet?
At university.
Ah.
Oh, are we like Genesis and Darum?
No, well, I met you guys at university too, and it's not a romance, so, you know. It's not universal.
Is that how you feel? Okay. That's how Bartek feels.
Do we want to talk about this, like, off mic?
No, let's talk about it more with the Yumlings. Yumlings, weigh in. Do you feel like Bartek's a part of this?
We have a relationship with Bartek on individuals and joint between the two of us, Ryan.
To
so-
quote Caleb, I thought we had something.
That's me to you. I thought we had something. I don't get Genesis as a character in this episode. I understood Darum, and then we shift to Genesis, and a part of it is romantic tension between the two of them.
But then she's just good.
I just don't understand.
She's just good, and she has right to be pissed off, and she doesn't fly off the handles. Like, she's very measured and controlled and demonstrating at, like, every turn why she's a better leader than Darum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, just learn your lesson and let her do the right thing, because then you'll win and everybody will be better off.
In terms of the romance stuff, you basically described what Caleb and the Betazoid girl are like, but now it's in the gender flip, where Genesis is pretty straightforward. She expresses how she feels. She tells you when you've crossed the line and all of that, and yet it feels like, oh no, we don't understand what the problem here is. And I know that's like romantic drama 101, but it feels so foreign in this way that they're doing it. A bunch of it just feels
like willful ignorance.
It feels like it's written by people who don't know how to actually express this. It's like they know of it because I've watched television too.
But then there's so many lines in the 4th episode that feel like just, you know, I've been to therapy.
What is Genesis's deal? Outside of what Rachel said about
she's an admiral's daughter.
She's an admiral's daughter. Outside of her, like, she's clearly the better leader. What's her deal?
Yeah, did we actually get much of her, like, situation outside of, like, she's from, like, a family that has, like, a high-ranking person and she's proud of that?
That's it.
Because when she had, like, the you know, retort of, like, what did you say, you son of a bitch? And that's, like, the distraction that made Darum win. I didn't know if that was, like, a dramatic moment or, like, a slightly comedic moment of, like, oh, they're bantering.
But it was dramatic.
Yeah, and then she says later on, like, I didn't expect you to use my family against me.
It's the one thing we know.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know what I thought, oh, did I miss a scene where she revealed something super personal and he said something super mean? But it was like, he just basically said, your character trait is the character trait.
You're insecure about this.
Yeah.
It's the only thing we know about you, Genesis.
But also, I think that generally we understood that she's like a relatively like confident person.
Yeah.
So it would then make sense that like, oh, maybe she's
Why does it shake her so much?
Yeah, maybe she's able to handle that jab. Like she could have easily had like a retort of like, I don't know, whatever she knows about his race, and it's like, oh, you know, you got blue guys or something.
But it's because she thought he was nice to her. And so when he said something that is obvious,
she's learning that people can be assholes, and it's like, you should know that already.
He straight up tells her later, like, you know, I would do anything to get my goal, right?
But she thought, not against me. But now she realizes, and now they have to fight for the captain role.
I do just want to say, I weirdly liked and hated the scene at the end with Caleb and Nala. Of like, it's a school! Everything's a lesson! Because it's just like, she has a point, but also it's done in this way that is weirdly sort of extravagant, and
But that's her character.
Yeah, but it worked and didn't, and I find it fascinating that it can be both, because that's a big, like, being multiple things at the same time is a big part of the next episode.
The problem is that scene's already played out like 4 times in this episode. It's just another scene saying, hey, audience, did you get what we did here? And I say, I do understand it. Please, please, trust my intelligence. But they are writing for people who have short attention spans. People who say like, oh, I can't watch a TV show on its own. I have to play a game while watching it. Or I have to look at my phone. I can't just do a solitary activity. They're writing for them.
If you're not watching the screen, you're going to miss all the Kyle moments.
Hello, my name is Jaden.
Jaden?
It means he who crosses oceans of fire. So, yeah.
I'm Kyle. It means Kyle.
Rachel, do you have a summary for episode 4, Vox in Excelso?
I sure do. The Klingons are on the brink of extinction. But many people don't know how to say Jaden.
Well, this episode had a lot to think about with the Yum Yum moment. A lot to think about. This was a much more reflective episode, a much more serious episode, a lot more contemplative.
Can we flash back to last episode where Ryan says that he wants an episode where there's a problem that needs to be talked about?
Yeah, a science fiction problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets it.
Yeah,
he also gets lots of yum-yum-ish moments.
I have mine. Is just Stephen Colbert is in these episodes way too much.
Yeah, he's
way
a lot
too
more
much.
than the first two.
I find it distracting. And I like Colbert. I like Colbert Report. I love Harvey Birdman. I love Strangers with Candy. These are all things I love. I can't have Stephen Colbert in this show doing his Radio Man voice.
I weirdly had trouble thinking of specific moments for this. And then I was like, okay, the thing that stood out to me that I was just like, oh, God damn it, does this distract from it? But I also understand what you're trying to do. And I've already mentioned it, but the therapy speak at the end of this episode, specifically Kayla being like, so I start shit and I know I can be an asshole.
You guys don't like the colloquial, like, jovial?
I just, like, it just feels like they're just trying to have their cake and eat it too with him. He is a hothead who's wise.
He's got a prisoner's wisdom. But he also doesn't know what a bed is like. But he's read the rules, Rachel. Because if you can break the rules, you got to know what they are. Caleb, actually, this one thing, Caleb is such a stupid character.
Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to be like, you took away my mother. My whole existence has been about my anger towards you. And then him and Chancellor Aki are just like sharing jokes and like slapping each other in the back and having a jolly old times. Like, what? Excuse me? Like, it's, from his point of view, it's like a Nazi officer came in and took away your family. Then years later, you go back and that Nazi officer is now your teacher. And they're like, hey, what's up? And you're just like, jolly old time. My parents are still gone. My family's still in the camp. Like, they never came back from the camps. Whatever.
But you told me that you're going to help me find them, so...
And yeah, they had like multiple conflicts like that in the first few episodes.
But it feels very quick of like that he's...
We're done with that now. That's what a bunch of it feels like with Caleb to me of, okay, we're done with that stage of his characterization. We're moving on to this next
It'll
part.
come back up. They'll pick it up, but they've put it down. But the thing is, he is so like a joke in this episode. They're like, everyone wants to punch Caleb. Come on. Even he wants to punch himself.
When he and Genesis were going up to Jaden and telling him like, oh, we'll be on your side. Like Genesis has this line like, look, we know Caleb's a dick, and like he, just kind of nods to that. Mm-hmm. So it just felt like a consistent thing.
Did you say your yum yum?
No, I didn't. This is actually my first like Klingon-centric thing ever. It's something I've definitely heard, billions and billions of things about. Over the course of me knowing you, listening to Red Letter Media and all that. So that was interesting. Maybe this will be a thing that's just like completely like fly on the wall, completely normal. That's not what that phrase means, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
But when the dad in the flashback got mad at him not shooting the bird of prey, and he just like looks at him and screams, and then just while still screaming turns and shoots the arrow and misses and then runs away. Like, I got a lot of amusement out of that.
But then,
the runaway also kind of got me.
But then they reveal that's actually very dramatic. I thought it was stupid too. That was very stupid. I laughed. I thought that was very poorly done. But then the episode turns around and says, dummy.
We have a justification for why it looks stupid.
That was a really meaningful move from the dad's part. He wasn't being a hothead. He was acting. Like, that's literally the excuse was he was acting.
Yeah, it's something along those lines.
So,
because they're like, no, if he was angry, then he would have been like even more accurate and brutal.
Yeah. Thoughts on this episode overall? This is probably the best episode of the show so far, in my opinion. I thought this was the best one of the 4 we've seen. I thought this was the most consistent, the most focused. It was small and intimate, but also dealing with big events in the background of the universe without it getting bogged down in it.
It felt more balanced than the other episodes have been. It still has some of those markers of modern Star Trek trying to be about something that's happening now.
In our real world?
Yeah, not taking a step back and examining the deeper things of it. It's just like there's a refugee crisis happening globally. So we're going to have a plot that's about a refugee crisis.
It leaned into like Babylon 5 territory of like, here's an alien, and, something's happened with his race, and we explore, what we already know about this race from the information we've already been given, and we expand on it. Like, we learn in the first episode that, he's a Klingon, which even to an outsider, they explain well enough that this is a very, warrior-centric thing. They take pride in, battle and dying in battle, and Jaden has his line in the first episode where it's like, I will, take that pride and move it towards living a long, fulfilling life. And
I like bird watching.
Yeah, I like bird watching, and he's very, medicine focused. And even the dad in this episode has a line in one of the flashbacks where it's like, medicine counts for something, but, there are other things more important. And so you, the viewer, might be then led to thinking like, oh, okay, because he's different from the other Klingons, he's probably going to be super opposed to like the general way they do things. And some of the characters in this episode assume that too. And then Jaden's like, no, I am of this race. Their values are my values, even if I do things differently. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do. And by the end of the episode, it's actually pretty consistent with both his values, but also the values of the race, even if he's, not a, hunter who he's never killed.
I also really appreciate, too, that they put an emphasis on, since the Klingons are on the brink of extinction, how much do you hold on to these values of your culture when they could lead to your demise? And even with Jaden as an individual, like, he can understand this. He's in the Starfleet Academy. He's a Starfleet officer. This is the type of heady stuff they have to think about, but he's still a Klingon. He's still of his race, of his culture. These things matter to him. It all made sense, and it makes for an interesting dilemma for him as an individual, for an episode to explore, and for the other characters to react off of. Like, that's what I have to say. I'm like, good job, guys. You did it. You did it. Like, some of the ways you went about it, I didn't love, but overall, you did it. And I wish that I wish for more episodes along these lines. There wasn't a lot of, like, garbage fluff in my view. There was just, like, neat. Like, they even did things like hold back and leave the audience, me specifically, wondering, are they going to bring this up, or are they thinking I'm stupid and think I shouldn't recognize it? And then the episode will be like, no, Ryan, Laura Thok will have an opinion on this. The other Klingon character have an opinion on this.
I was waiting for her to come in because I'm like, yeah, they keep saying that he's the only cadet, but there is like another Klingon. She was like half,
half Klingon.
Yes, and yeah, they do bring it up.
And they wait, and when they wait, you realize, oh, there was an intention. But the fact is, there's a moment of time where you think they don't have an intention. They're just not bringing it up because of whatever reason.
They're just neglecting this.
But then they showed me, and I'm like, okay, you did it. Like, I'm very proud of you guys for, like, actually committing to it.
Yeah, and it was really nice seeing her, put aside, like, the cadet master role and say, like, look, I'm half Klingon. I think I have a responsibility as an elder to impart some wisdom on you, and it was really cool.
I've never had the privilege of being a mentor to a fellow Klingon. I do not want to F it up, as Commander Reno says, but I regret not trusting my own instincts and speaking to you, not as your Starfleet instructor, but as your Klingon elder.
And as a Klingon character, Rachel, how do you feel? You and I are versed in Klingon characters. Bartek has heard about them, but this is his first taste of it.
I think he's working fairly well. I enjoy that it is about his duality without making him half human. It's like, no, we don't need him to be racially mixed for this to work.
And he doesn't need to be raised by humans like Worf was.
No.
Like, Worf was a full Klingon, but he was raised by humans, so he has, like, this weird, I'm from humanity, but I'm also not. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a full Klingon character, yet
it's
feels...
I am Klingon, and I choose to live in this human world. What does that mean for me as a Klingon? What am I giving up by doing that? Can I be Klingon and myself and Starfleet at the same time?
I don't mind Jaden as a Klingon character because, and I know some people have issues with this, and I think this is what brings stagnation to this franchise, which is Klingons are supposed to be like this. Star Trek is unfortunately a series where every alien race is a race of people wearing the same hats. It's that type of show. It's that type of series. And they try to liven it up. They try to freshen it up. Like, oh, the Klingons used to be our enemies. Now they're our friends. Like, that's a change up. But when it comes to, like, characterization, or the idea that they have to be, like, the stoic warrior race who's all about this, is what we've been seeing. But even in TNG, one of my favorite little details was, like, there's an episode where Beverly Crusher talks to a Klingon scientist woman. And it's like, of course there's Klingon scientists. They have spaceships. They have more advanced technology than the Federation. They have cloaking devices. Of course they have scientists. And there's a joke of the scientist is socially, like, reserved because they get bullied all the time because the Klingons don't respect scientists. They respect warriors. But that's the thing. That brings up a question of, wait, how do they work? And this character of Jaden is a great exploration of that rebuttal of Klingons should only be like this. Nerds out there watching this show will say, no, I can't like Jaden because Klingons are supposed to be like this. And the funniest thing is, Worf from TNG, he is cosplaying as a Klingon. He was raised by humans, and every Klingon thing he's doing, he's a tryhard about it. And that's like the dramatic irony of Worf. Other Klingons meet him, and they think he's too much. They're like, fuck, dude. Like, all right, calm down. I like Jaden as like an exploration from a writing stance of how do you freshen up the Klingons. And that's the point of this episode, is like, the point is the Klingon culture is like, dude, you're like trying to be a more depthful thing. We're supposed to be this.
So, and by extension, do you guys also appreciate in the flashbacks his brother character who is like, full on warrior, but recognizes that like, hey, not all of us are meant to be like this. This is not your calling.
I do, but my problem is it was very obvious. Like, he's gonna die. It was just, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was
as soon as
very
he appeared,
two-dimensional.
I'm like, how many scenes until he's dead?
I appreciate on the macro what he's supposed to do,
that's
but
what I
on
meant.
the micro, when you zoom in on it, it's too obvious.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
The characters in those flashbacks, you kind of get their point as soon as you meet them.
Exactly.
Like, okay, you're progressive. You're going to be the more strict ones that the fans want all Klingons to be, I guess, from what I'm understanding. I did say when we were talking about the first episode that on a just like pure vibes level, Jaden was the one that I was the most interested in, because he was introduced in a way that's like, hey, this is what I am, and there's a bit of a conflict there, and it was an understandable thing of like having differences from your cultural norms. And actually, you know what? It actually kind of gets followed up in this, because when he's introduced, the cadet master is a key part of that scene where she's the one interrogating him about what's your deal, kind of thing. So having the follow up in this episode where they have like a calm conversation, it kind of justifies that, kind of random drill sergeant-y bit from the first episode a bit more.
It was actually good to see him turn up the aggression in this episode, because we know Klingons have an aggressive streak to them, even from just the singular one. But Jaden has been so calm and so quiet and so meek. But he can, when things get passionate for him, like with the debates. Like, this is a part of the episode, is this debate structure, which is, I think, the weakest part of the episode, is just the debates just weren't particularly good. They weren't particularly well handled. It was like a narrative. It was like a writing thing to be like, and the characters have to argue.
We need a structure. We need a reason that this is happening. Let's do debating.
The competition nature of it was very confusing, because it would just be like 3 lines and then the character declares who wins.
That's not how a debate works.
No.
It's like, first point, rebuttal to that. You win.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, who's the first speaker? Who's the second speaker? What?
And they're having to lock horns, but he is not comfortable, Jaden, with public speaking, and when they actually have to do it, he does fumble and does do this. I thought it was
he uses the tool that he was given by his friend.
Yes, the tool of
the
warrior breathing.
Warrior breathing. Yeah, that was an alright scene. Unexpected character development for Darren in this.
It kept on looking like they were about to kiss.
Oh, I think he wanted to make out with Jaden. I think Darren's move is, Caleb has friends. I should romance them all. And isolate Caleb from romance options.
If this show ends with Darren being like the harem king, like an anime harem, like I just got all the love interests. This is the ultimate route.
Ultimate route.
Ultimate
yes.
ending. Yes. No. That's a good pun, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
The ultimate route.
Thank you. The debate structure was, I thought it was messy from the drop, because
why is the Doctor doing it?
I love Robert Picardo. And I love the Doctor from Voyager. Why the fuck's he in charge of these debates? Why? They have some bullshit line.
Tig was in it last episode.
And the drill instructor's doing her own thing. I know that they have some bullshit line. It's a bullshit line where he says, when I was on the USS Voyager, and he looks at the camera and says, that was a TV show, by the way, I had to debate for my existence all of the time. Shh. shut up. That's not like he was a prick. Like you should have just said, "I'm a prick, and I love being a prick." So making arguments is fair, but
because he does get called out for swearing.
Oh yeah, they have like the meta thing where it's like, "You, sir, should you speak like that?" And then he looks at the audience and says, "We've read your Reddit comments about us swearing on the show, but I'm 800 years old. I've earned my rights." and then Robert Picardo like takes off the outfit and like he gets into his trailer and he lights up a big cigar and he smokes it and just goes, "Got those nerds."
I was actually curious to hear like how you felt about that line in particular. Like, because you like that character so much, do you like let it slide or
I
not?
didn't even have a problem until the kid made a point about it. It didn't really faze me in any way. I thought it was like whatever, and then the kid made a whole big song and dance about it, and then I cared because then the episode was being like, haha, nerds.
Yeah, I was specifically talking about like his rebuttal to the kid.
I didn't make like just.
No,
it was
like,
bizarre to me. It was bizarre.
Neither Ryan or I had like the biggest reaction to Star Trek introducing swearing into the language of the show. We both had more of a problem with the way that the show would stop and draw attention to it.
Okay, yeah.
Stop because we said that. Fuck. Yeah. Ooh, and this show has a bit
Science
of that too.
Is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've told me about that.
Oh my god. Just do it. Like, just do it, or
like if it's
don't
just,
waste my time.
If it's just a word, just treat it like it's a word.
Here's something. We have two characters who are in this episode that would be better suited to be the debate people. Chancellor Aki, of course, she's here, and the Admiral Vance, who's also in this episode. They make more logical sense than the Doctor being the debate guy, but it's funny because it's the Doctor, and you gotta have him here.
With those two characters, really,
yeah, they're busy.
Liked
they're
the
working.
Detail of Vance being like, "Oh yeah, I've been reading your personal logs or
files
for like 7 years." They're very interesting, and I really appreciated that because it's a good way to like reintegrate how old she is, but how long of a history she has, and that Vance knows her through her history.
It's like for her it's normal, but for him it's like historical records.
Yeah.
And he like kind of talks about it like, "Oh, I'm a history nerd about this stuff."
But it builds on what we had with her last episode of her being the prankster.
I thought maybe you'd give it a go, given your history.
My history happened decades before you were born, Charlie. How do you even know about it?
Your personal files. I've been reading them for the last 7 years. Longer than War and Peace and so much more...
dramatic?
Insane.
Oh, this episode also had Caleb in it, by the way. He was a character that was in the show. And
his stuff did not work for me at all.
Well, it was so backgrounded. Really, the joke was he is a joke. Like, that's the joke. Yeah. It's like, he's a joke. We think of him as a stupid
he's
character.
The main character, so he's got to have some growth. And, it's off the back of Jaden's stuff, but also entwined with it. And
I wish I had a family.
Such a cliche thing at the end where it's just like, and you need to let the present in.
You
I
can't
wanted
let go
to
of the
like
past.
that scene so badly, but the dialogue was just too...
Well,
I want to say saccharine, but that's not quite the right word.
They had a moment where it's like, hey, aren't we brothers? We have this thing in common. We're both orphans and we're both this or that.
You're not my brother.
You're not my brother. And there's this band.
And then it comes back.
And then it comes back and they reconcile. Sadly, though, we've only seen them really be friends in the premiere episode. And then they've just kind of had little one-lines to each other. And that's it. So when you have a whole episode, it's like, now their friendship is at odds. It's like, I wish I bought it more. Not saying that I haven't bought it in the past. But this is a case where it's just like, you're telling me and I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, that first episode really kind of established it quickly. Like, they were the first guys that they met each other. They got along. Second episode, like, as infamous as it was that all of them were brushed aside, what little we did get of Jaden was, like, him hanging out with Caleb in the 1 or 2 scenes he
Him being
appeared
upset
in.
he wasn't in the same dorm.
Yeah, and then, third episode, there's just so much going on that, their relationship wasn't really a focus, other than, like, hey, you distract them, use your wit. There was a familiarity,
in that scene, they were talking about how all Klingon food is great because it has blood in it. And he's like, you humans don't eat blood.
Yeah, I had a good giggle at that, though.
That wasn't too bad. Like how this episode had the stew thing.
That was nice, casual world.
It was fun in that third episode, getting that one little moment of like him having a really strong opinion about something and expressing his point.
I think the actor of Caleb is okay. I think he's good at comedy. He's very good at presenting a more level-headed Caleb, who's a lot more of a jovial force, and playing up that he's a bit of a himbo and the physical comedy is good. I, as saying earlier, have a disconnect of the Caleb we were set up with and where we are now. It doesn't feel like we've really gotten to that point. We've just kind of accepted we're there now, because it would be too frustrating for the writers to still have him be in an angstier mode. But it's like they've been at the campus for like what feels like a month. And it feels like he's leveled out and chilled out so much that this is where I'd want him to be at the start of the next season and have a whole journey of getting to there. A character I would draw a comparison to is in the series Space Above and Beyond, where Cooper Hawkes is a hothead character who's a criminal who's forced to be there because the law put him there. He is good at being a part of the team. He's very good at being a soldier. But he's a bit of a fuck up and he can't connect with people fully because he's forced to be there. And then he has a whole journey where eventually he decides, I want to be here. It's like we've skipped that part. And Caleb's just like, I'm great at debating. What can I say? I'm just a naturally good guy.
We're at the next stage of his character evolution. It just happened.
Until we're going to pick up that until we're going to pick up his mummy issues again.
Yeah, like that part's still there. That's still going. But him being angsty and not wanting to be there, done, dusted, dealt with that. Have we?
I think of you, Rachel, saying in our discussion of the first episodes where you're like, hey, he's been on like the run for this many years, but he's only just now encountered a computer that can tell him of the list of prisoners. What's he been doing in between that time? And this is an example of that too. When Caleb's mother isn't the focus of a story, it's almost like that element of his character doesn't exist in any way. Like any of the things that motivate him in that way, bring his personality. It's almost like it's non-existent until you bring
up how he hoards Earth food.
Yeah, until you like bring up like it's more he was a prisoner than anything else gets brought up.
Yeah, that feels more relevant. But he's like, I do it because of my mom.
I thought he was on the run for all these years. I thought he was a prisoner for like a day when they picked him up. But they treated like he was in prison.
Jail.
Okay.
Like they list off his like in jail, arrested for this, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it would make sense if he attributed his, experience with the debate as being like dealing with like seedier people and having to, work his way around negotiations and stuff rather than like, oh yeah, prison culture. Because there is the whole thing about like, wasn't he just on the run the whole time?
The big shake-up, too, of the status quo is they reveal here that because of the burn, or as Bartek knows it, the merm, the Klingons are basically an extinct race. They're on the brink. They're not going to be able...
Endangered.
They're an endangered species, and that's huge. Like, these guys have been the top dogs in the franchise for so long. They're a big adversary, a big ally. They're synonymous with Star Trek. To take him down such a huge degree is a big move. And it falls a little flat because modern Star Trek's already pulled this trick with the other big enemy of the Federation, the Romulans. And they did it the exact same way. It was like, oh, this thing happened and now they're refugees. So for me, someone who's watching just modern Trek, they're pulling the same trick again in the exact same way, and it's kind of dull.
I repressed so much of Picard.
As you should.
I was like, this feels familiar. That's why.
But it's...
I did piece it together because I successfully did not think about Picard.
Here's a huge difference, though. It's actually important to a character that's a part of the show itself rather than a side character. In the other shows where it's like Romulans, they're always side characters. They're never like a proper main character. Even the Romulan samurai in Picard is a secondary character. Jaden is a fully main character. So like this idea of like the Klingon culture almost being gone matters. It actually makes sense. I know some fans out there won't like the fact that the Great Klingons are down a peg. I don't know. I think what's repetitious is this show going to be every week we're going to meet a former race of the Federation and their isolationist weirdos who we have to convince with some
quite possibly
with some like childlike politics to join our group or concede in some way?
The answer is no. Only every even-numbered episode.
Every even-numbered episode will be that. Thank you, Bartek. Like, when they resolved the crisis by just, like, pretending to get into a battle and then letting the Klingons win it, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm surprised.
From so early on that that's what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, figure it out. Come on. Come on.
But only Jaden could offer them that wisdom because he's from the Klingon culture.
Yeah, as someone
Laura Thok could not figure that out herself.
No. It's got to be a cadet solving the problems.
Well, it's a cadet show, so yeah.
As a newbie, like, that worked for me. Like, hey, here's a problem. Here's a way that we reach that problem solution using our main characters. And like, hey, we have a rounded plot.
Our rating systems are pretty binary. Yum is bad, yum yum is good. Episode 3 is a yum from me.
Yum. This episode is a yum for me as well. Yum. But I was surprised by how many moments I did find myself enjoying it. Bartek?
I gave episode 2 a yum yum. And I was a bit trepidatious about it in that episode, but I justified it as it being me extending the olive branch that, okay, this is kind of more of what I want to see of, like, you know, slice of lifey stuff, characterization. I'll give it this one olive branch of a, you know, I'll not give it a yum. But in the going forward, I'll have to, you know, be a bit more strict about it. So now I'm in this kind of unfortunate situation where I liked episode 3 more than episode 2. But there are all of these problems that are just weighing it down. And I did walk in to this discussion ready to give it the yum. Discussing it did warm me up to it a little bit more. But yeah, just the whole sum of its parts thing, you know, not measuring up to the quality of each of these individual parts just make it a little bit too frustrating. So even though I do like it more than episode 2, I think I do have to, you know, be honest and just give it the yum.
Yum. Is episode 4 a yum yum for you then?
Episode 4 is a yum yum.
Yum yum.
Oh, without a doubt, it's a yum yum.
It's a yum yum for me too. Yum yum.
What are we hoping for next? Are we wanting anything in particular in these next 2 episodes?
I want to like something with Caleb.
What?
I want to like something with Caleb.
Why would you wish
that? I thought you were saying that we haven't got enough of him.
No, I would have liked something that they do with him without any caveats.
Oh, Rachel, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to continue with that wish until it happens, which may be never.
My wish is obvious. It's simple.
Giamatti.
I felt his lack of presence in these episodes, and I kept thinking of you two last time saying, make him a main, in pain tones of voices, make him a main. Because the absence of Giamatti is devastating, and I genuinely don't know why they would bring him back. Like, when they're in space, he'll attack them. Okay. Why does that need to be episode 5 when it could have been episode 3? Why does it need to be episode 7 when it could have been episode 9? Like, there's no real sense of, like, progression, momentum-wise, of, like, why will he come back? Well, because it's Paul Giamatti, we have to bring him back.
But they are setting up non-linear editing in both of these episodes. There's
flashback?
both within and beyond scenes and sequences and stuff.
So maybe Caleb will have a flashback of the bye-bye, mommy bit again.
Maybe.
Yeah. I did get nervous at one point at the start of, I think, the 4th episode where, like, they said, like, oh, we're finally on a mission in space. I'm like, oh, we're leaving the Academy?
Yep.
But then the episode was still at the Academy?
Yeah.
So it made me nervous for no reason.
It was in space.
Yeah.
But it was the Academy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
What are you wanting?
Yeah, I was a bit more clear about what I wanted in that first recording that we did, and I'm happy that I actually got what I asked for.
Mm-hmm.
So not as strong about like, oh, this show really needs to do this now. But I guess maybe like 1 or 2 more episodes of like slice of life, and then I'll be all right with doing a bit more of a main plotty thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as I guess the main thing is, yeah, giving us a bit more episodes like episode 4 was for Jaden for some of the other characters.
That is our podcast discussion. Thank you all so much for listening. Rachel, where can people find and support the podcast?
Patreon is the best place to do those things, but you can also leave a review on your podcatcher of choice.
Make sure to follow us on all of those social medias, yumyumpod or yumyumpodcast. We post on there. We can be found on all of the podcasting sites, as you can expect. We're on YouTube as well, so you can see Rachel and I's reactions to Killjoys. We're covering Killjoys as well, which has been fun. It's actually been interesting to see that show and this show at the same time, because both of them are like less about like sci-fi plot of the week and more emotional character stuff of the week, but they're still very science fiction genre shows, but it's about your tolerance and the scales of how they play with these things. So it's been interesting for us to see them side by side. But Bartek and I, we also host a podcast. Bartek, you want to talk a bit about what we do?
Sure, yeah. So Ryan and I host the podcast Spit and Polish Presents, the main show being Pictures Powwow, where every episode we cover a different film, just a review and a full discussion. And we get pretty deep into a lot of things about it, like the topics of the movie itself, as well occasionally as some of its more reputational things. Like we just did an episode on The Meg, and we talked about everything about that film, but also talked a little bit about how it was advertised and its sort of reputation it has. And, you know, it was the first time we ever talked about a film appealing to a specific large market. Mm-hmm. And we realized halfway through, like, oh, we've never done this in like over 400 episodes.
Yes, we have a large catalogue. We've talked about a variety of films that star some of the actors of this show, specifically Paul. I don't know if we've ever done a Holly Hunter film, but we've done a Paul film.
I don't think so, yeah.
I don't think we've done a Holly film. Maybe we have to do Incredibles.
Yeah.
Raising Arizona.
Elastigirl, right?
Yeah, she's Elastigirl.
Yeah. And you can find us in pretty much everything as well. Yeah. We've got a YouTube channel if you want it in video form, but it's on all the other podcatchers as well. We have an email you can contact us at, which you can find descriptions of those episodes. And yeah, you can send us recommendations.
Oh yeah, recommendations. We take those on board. Sometimes Rachel has been a guest as well on an episode. So if you want to get more Rachel in your life, check out Spit and Polish Presents or just more Yum Yum. But until then, just think about this, okay? In these episodes of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, these 2 episodes actually knew how to end. Unlike the first 2 episodes where they kind of just suddenly stopped, these 2 episodes actually had endings where it's like, and then we cut to credits and you go, that's how you end an episode.
The structure of them was much better, yeah.
I'm going to end an episode with Cole Bear dribbling on. Thank you, episode.
Oh, that's fun.